you for watching Generally Nerdy. I'm gonna put this away, sorry. This is your week in Nerdom Music Edition. That's right, it's Monday, so we're talking about music. Or if you're not a patron, that means it's Tuesday and we're talking about music. This week in music, it was kind of a small category this week. Two of my usually bigger categories got shrunk, and music is one of those two. So we're talking about the new S.O.D record that's coming out. That came out. The new Marylin Manson record that came out. Some Lamb of God announcements. Some other stuff's going on in music. But let's jump into the intro real quick, and then we'll hit the news.
Quiet on the set. Rolling.
Hi, I am Bitsy Telek.
Hey, I'm Hale Appleman.
I'm Walter Kane.
I'm Rene Aubergenois. Odo on Deep Space Nine.
Michael Dorn, Lieutenant Commander Worf, Star Trek The Next Generation.
Come and see me and hear me and talk to me and listen to me talk about myself.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, often considered generally nerdy, and you are listening to what is often considered generally nerdy.
On Generally Nerdy.
You're listening to
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Generally Nerdy.
Before we can jump into the news, we have to get to that sponsor. This week, just like the previous weeks this month, has been sponsored by this beautiful shirt right here. This shirt is going out to two of you beautiful nerds. All you have to do is follow the rules that are down in the description below. I'm teamed up with the guys over at punishshirt.com. They have a lot of really great t-shirts, really nerdy shirts over there. If you do not win, this shirt will be available to you for right about $20. And go support some local small business. They are based out of Utah, so they're not super local for me, but they are small business, right? They're trying to make a living just like everybody else. So punishshirt.com is where you can go check out a bunch of other really hilarious shirts, not just the one that sponsors this episode. But that being said, let's jump into the news. Okay, first thing that we're talking about on news is the S.O.D. They released a new video for the title track off their new record called Used Future. You can check the link in the description to go watch it and go listen to the new song. This is gonna be really bad, but I don't like the new S.O.D record. I'm sorry. It's just not that good. It's kind of the same thing that Opeth did for about 2 records, where they're doing this like retro kind of rock sound. They're not the stoner metal guys anymore. They're like 1970s prog rock guys, and they're doing like these pop length songs, and I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm gonna be spending money on this record, but it's the S.O.D, so we have to talk about it, right? Because they're great. Normally, they're really great. So, I don't know. I can't give any more time to this. So, we're going to kick on down the road. Next up, we're talking about Marylin Manson. And he put out a new video for the song Tattooed in Reverse. You can check that link in the description as well. And the video's kind of whatever. Like they're billing it as like this crazy, edgy, violent, sexual kind of thing, and it's like, As in Manson terms, this is easily one of the most tame videos he's ever done. Go watch anything off of Smells Like Children, or go watch the Beautiful People video, or Sweet Dreams. Go watch any of those videos and then watch this and tell me this is dangerous. But the tune, because I still haven't listened to the whole record yet. I forget the name of the record and I didn't write it down because I'm a winner! But the tune is good. So this is kind of, I have a little bit of a disassociation with Manson, because he has this imagery, and actually his early stuff fits the image that he portrays, the character that he puts on stage and when he's doing performances. And then his more recent stuff, this album, everything basically since Eat Me, Drink Me has been But like, as it's getting better, it's become more pop. And in this instance, it kind of makes sense, but there's still that disassociation of, well, this is the image that I have, but this is the sound that I have. Like, I understand that goth pop is a thing. I understand that actually most goth music is really traditional in structure, and like it's only the content and sometimes the instrumentation that makes it dark, but it's not like a challenge to form in any way. Totally get that. Manson in the past has had a little bit of challenge to form. Really simple structures, but at times, like he's stepped out of that verse pre-chorus kind of structure and given us something more interesting. And sonically too, he's been very dynamic, and he's kind of losing that dynamic side from the things that I've heard off this record. But it's not altogether a bad thing. If going forward, all I'm going to do when I listen to Manson is go, this is just dark pop, because that's what it is. He's just making pop music at this point. You can see the evolution of that, and so it kind of makes sense. Like, he's just making pop music. And if that's the direction he heads, I can see his career picking back up again, because it kind of hit a lull there for a while. It started picking up recently, but it's might be plateauing, or it might continue going up. If the rest of the songs on this album are like the 2 or 3 that we've listened to already, then I can see it continuing to go up, because pop music is pop. Pop is short for popular, right? So pop music is popular for a reason. So if he's sticking to a pop formula, then that's going to increase his visibility in the music world. And I don't see that as a really bad thing. I can get behind that. And we're moving on. Next up, we're talking about one of my favorite metal bands in the entire universe of all time, the boys over in Lamb of God. For the 3 of you who don't know, Lamb of God, when they first started, before they signed a major record deal, they went by the name Burn the Priest, which is a lot harder to market. So when they ran into troubles, they not really like trouble, but they were having difficulties getting to the places they wanted. They changed the name, and then they signed a major record label. So, that's kind of the history behind this announcement. To celebrate their 20th anniversary of their first record, which was they signed to a really small local label, and they put it out self-titled as the band Burn the Priest. To celebrate that record, they are putting out a covers album also under the name Burn the Priest. The name of the record is going to be called Legion XX. Will be out May 18th. You can see down in the description the first song on the record. They did a video for it. It's just a real quick performance video. Looks like it's in their rehearsal space. And it's, Randy has talked about his influences for years and years, but the rest of the band hasn't been as forthcoming with it. It's not like they're a big secret what influenced them, but this record, if you look at the track listing, which I'll also post down low, there's some really interesting stuff in this. And there's, like, usually a covers album for a metal band, I'm like, they're influenced by bands I really don't care about, but Lamb of God has some influences that are really cool and really interesting. So again, check out the first single down low. Solid stuff. It's the first time I've ever seen Lamb of God do a cover, and they pull it off in classic Lamb of God style. It's super rockin', headbanging stuff, and Randy's vocals are 10 times more brutal than the original. But again, go check that out. Definitely buy this record when it comes out. Hit it up digitally, whatever you got to do, but put some money in the pockets of those guys over at Lamb of God. Not that they need our money, but support good music is kind of what I'm saying with that. And speaking of good music, that kind of sort of transitions us into the last bit of this week's music episode. So originally I was just going to talk about Jack White, because I'm going to see Jack White in a couple of months. So there's that. But I just saw when I was doing the research for this, Metallica is doing a similar thing to Jack White, and I'm being totally vague right now. What am I talking about? They are with ticket sales for their current tours, respectively Metallica and Jack White both. If you buy a ticket to the show, you also get a copy of the record. And I was just thinking out loud the other day with my girlfriend, I wonder if that counts towards their sound scan. And it does. Because they're doing this, and because Metallica is a force in and of themselves in the music industry, this tactic has put their record back up to number 2 on the Billboard charts. So like, it's just a weird state that we're in with the music industry. When I went and saw American Murder Song last year, might have been over a year ago now. When I went and saw American Murder Song, they did something similar, only it was digital downloads, and I don't know if that counted towards the sound scan, because the MP3s were just in an email that we got. So this is the thing that I want to talk with you guys about, and I'm passing it off to you. Is this honest? Is this... So let's say you bought the record because you want to support the band. You bought the record because you legitimately love the music in a digital format or whatever. Maybe you actually went out and bought a physical copy of the disc, ordered it off Amazon, whatever. And then you also buy tickets. That's one person that's not going to listen to the record any more than they were originally, but that counts as 2 different scans. So that's art. To my eyes, that looks like artificial inflation, right? That looks like they're working the system. And I mean, more power to them. They figured it out. Not that, I don't know. It just seems really weak to me. But what do you guys think? I am, again, not the be-all end-all of any of these topics. I'm just trying to spark a conversation. So let's have one of those. And in that conversation that we're having, you guys can definitely tell me what I missed. Oh, wait, I know one thing that I've missed. I know one thing. We are still gearing up for Dink Denver is in about 3 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that is Starfest, also in Denver. These are 2 nerd conventions. Dink Denver is an underground comic book convention, so it's more about the artists. Not really much fanfare as far as like, oh, Marvel's going to announce their new movie. Nothing like that's going to happen at Dink. But it is a good way to see some fantastic art. It is a good way to see some unique storytelling. The underground comic scene is usually what pushes the envelope, so we know what we're expecting in those major comic book areas. In gearing up for this comic convention, I am reaching out to you viewers, all of you wonderful nerds. We are going to do an episode of Adventures in Photography for both Dink and Starfest. So Dink, like I just said, is more artist driven and is in a beautiful building in downtown Denver. So on my list already are crowd photography or street photography kind of stuff. I'm going to get some interesting artist shots of them in their booths, or maybe of a sculpture or something if they're doing that kind of stuff. There's also tattoo artists there, so I would imagine there might be some tattooing going on. I don't know. I'm sure there's a health code involved somewhere, so maybe if they can get it past that. I'm also going to be doing some architecture photography because, like I said, it's in a very nice old building downtown Denver. So there's that. If there's more stuff, it's not really a cosplay kind of convention. So I will possibly, if there is any cosplay there, I will shoot some cosplay as well, but that's not really on my checklist. If there's more stuff you guys want to see, let's talk about it in the comments, or you can jump over to the website, generallynerdy.net, and let me know over there. You can also find all of the links to the social media platforms on the website. You can find links to the stores so that you can buy one of your nerdy shirts. I always wear it, well, try to always wear it in the Weekend Nerdom videos. And you'll see me when we get to Starfest, when I do the celebrity interviews, I will be wearing this shirt as well. So you can get one of your own. There's a bunch of other shirts up in the stores. Go check those out. Or if you want to help more directly, you can jump over to Patreon, patreon.com/generallynerdy, and you can support me there. The tiers are broken down on the page, $1, $5, $10. All of that and the stuff that you get back for donating is all listed out on the page. So go check out Generally Nerdy on Patreon, patreon.com/Generally Nerdy. But if you are new to this channel, then definitely click that subscribe button. If you liked this episode, please click the like button and leave me a comment. Let me know that you liked it. Let me know what I can do better, what you liked that I'm already doing well. Even if it's a passive-aggressive thing like I got last week from somebody, why do you put so much time and effort into these very well-edited videos when nobody watches them? I get watches, I get likes. It's not like nobody's watching, but I mean, it's still, I took that as a compliment because the person said very well edited. So there you go. I'm doing something right? If you're falling behind on your nerd news and you want to catch up, you can click or tap that box right there to the left of my face to do that. But before you go, always remember, guys, that if it's generally nerdy, it's probably here.